We all now constitute one fraternity. And nobody can recognize who is colonizer and who is colonized. Then the problem is resolved. But when you have decolonization and the land still remains with the colonizer and the indigenous people remain without land, miserably poor, and that situation persists like that, then you have a recipe for disaster. Yeah. Most of our women are working today. What is the role of a man if he's at home or if he's unemployed? I know a case in Trinidad, husband and wife. The wife is my dear student. They have 8 children. 8, mashallah. They both attended George Washington University. They both did the master's degree. When she is going in the morning shift, he is doing the babysitting. And when he goes in the afternoon shift, she is doing the babysitting. So the management of a family, to the extent that either partner has the time to devote to it, is a joint effort. Taking care of children is a joint effort. But if a man is employed outside of the home and it is his responsibility to maintain the home, not hers, and she says, I want to pursue a career, she can't say, well, you must stay home. Let me go and work. Because Allah did not appoint her to maintain the family, He appointed him to maintain the family. Okay? If he is unemployed and he cannot get a job, and she is working and she is maintaining the family temporarily until he can get a job, sure, they can work out an arrangement whereby he is helping out in the home. But that's a temporary arrangement. This is a good topic for women. Unfortunately, no technical provisions were made for women to ask questions. This is precisely the problem. If tomorrow there is a masjid where the men are at the front and the women at the back for salat, as it was in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, with no barrier, you can perform your salat in that masjid confident in your heart that there is a greater likelihood that your salat will be accepted. Should you not go? Should you not go to perform your salat in a place where the likelihood is greater that your salat will be accepted, than to perform your salat in a place where the system of salat as given by the Prophet ﷺ has been changed? So not only women but men should look for such a masjid, and when you find such a masjid, go there. If only to have greater assurance in your heart that your salat will be accepted. In such a masjid, the woman can ask a question. She can ask a question. Because at the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, she got up and she asked the question. Is a husband allowed to stay angry with a wife for more than a week? Difficult question, huh? I believe, I cannot remember the hadith clearly, that the Prophet spoke of 3 days. And he didn't say whether it's man and woman, two Muslims, whether it be male and female or husband and wife, 3 days. So if after 3 days you're still not talking with each other, I suggest you make a nice hot cup of coffee and give it to him. To answer this question, we need a certain usul al-tafsir. That the Quran is the supreme authority in Islam. And the Hadith is explanatory to the Quran. But if there is even the appearance of a conflict between the Quran and the Hadith, it is with the Quran we must remain. If there is even appearance of a conflict between the Quran and the Hadith, it is with the Quran that we must remain. Unfortunately, this usul al-tafsir, this principle, is the problem. Because this is not sufficiently accepted. That in a conflict between the Quran and the Hadith, or the appearance of a conflict between the Quran and the Hadith, we stay with the Quran until the conflict is resolved, if it can be resolved. Secondly, in the Quran, in Surah al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayah number 106, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها نأتي بخير منها أو مثلها. We do not cancel, we do not abrogate any ayah or cause it to be forgotten, but that we replace it by that which is better or similar. Could he have been talking about verses of the Quran? That he could cause a verse of the Quran to be forgotten? Is it possible that Allah could be talking about verses of the Quran, that He can cause verses of the Quran to be cancelled, revising it, editing it? This is first draft, this is second draft of the Quran. Or that He could cause some verses of the Quran to be forgotten, aw nunsiha, forgotten. There is nothing in the ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ to support such a conclusion, that Allah Ta'ala caused some verses of the Quran to be cancelled and replaced with others, or some verses to be forgotten in the Torah, and establishes a new Qibla. When He did this cancellation, it was done completely, not part-time. That you can have the new Qibla sometime, but sometimes you go back to the old Qibla. No. When Allah cancels, He cancels, complete, replaces it, complete. Second example, He cancelled the old law of fasting. The old law of fasting in the Torah was from sunset to sunset. No food, no drink, no sexual relations. He cancelled that and He replaced it with a new law in the Quran. And the new law, if you will fast for the month of Ramadan, you will fast from dawn to sunset. During the night you can eat, during the night you can drink. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. You can go to your wives. When Allah cancelled the old law, He did not do it part-time. He did not say that the new law